Show me your way. Show me your way, that I may do your will. Show me your way. Show me my path. Show me my path, that I may walk in peace. Show me my path. Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to have you with me and with us. Tonight, it's another incredible night of great artists and musicians. In just a moment, I'll be bringing on my dear colleague and friend, Noah Aronson. And then after Noah, we'll have Natalie Young. So let me tell you a little bit about Noah before I bring him on to you. Known for his unique, engaging, and deeply soulful approach, which is so true, Noah Aronson is considered one of the most sought-after Jewish musicians in North America, making over 65 community appearances each year. He earned his degree in jazz composition and piano from Berklee College of Music, which happens to be where my sister Eve also graduated. And he has done so much work all over this world. As a solo musician, he's released 4 full-length albums and songbooks: Am I Awake, Left Side of the Page, More Love, I Want to Sing Your Song. It goes on and on and on. He has led URJ biennials. He has created a Passover Seder called Musical Magid. It goes on, and his work crosses the gamut between children and adults. And so it's with great honor and joy that I introduce to you Noah Aronson.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Noah. How are you?
It's so nice to be here. I particularly wore my Miami colors.
Yes, you did.
I decided I wanted to fit in.
Yeah, you fit in. Nobody, in fact, there's a lot of pink right now. Miami is, Miami doesn't know what's going on right now, but we're okay.
Yeah.
Noah, I just want to make an aside that your father was my teacher at HUC.
Yes.
So that was really an incredible thing. And now all these years later, I've had the pleasure of writing music with Noah and then just watching him blossom as a tremendous artist for the Jewish world. So Noah, I wanted to ask you, tell me how you got started in Jewish music. Well, I know a little bit of it, but
Yeah, I think you just actually said the beginnings of it, and the fact that my father is a cantor, and he spent 50 years working in communal, Jewish communal life, working in a congregation in South Orange, New Jersey, and then he also taught at HUC, and so a lot of the cantors that I work with now, including Jody Suffren and Roy Einhorn in Boston, all took classes with him over 30 some odd years ago, and so I just, it's in my DNA, it's part of who I am. And, growing up, being exposed to Jewish music through him and just being part of the congregational life. And also I went to a Jewish day school. I went to Solomon Schechter. And so there was just a lot of music in that environment. I was in the choir, and I worked with a brilliant teacher named Daniel Hankin, who has done amazing choral work. And so just had a lot of exposure at an early age to that. And then I went to Berklee College of Music, like you mentioned in the bio, and I was studying jazz composition. I think at the time I was planning on doing composition for films and TV, and I also had an interest in writing musical theater music. All of things are still interests and passions of mine, but at the same time I was working at Congregation Beth Elohim in Wellesley while I was going to school, and over the years the cantor there, Jody Suffren, kind of took me under her wing and became a mentor to me, and started encouraging me to write music. And so, some of the first melodies that I wrote for congregation, ya la 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 la, All of those came from the very, very beginning years when I was working with her. And at the time, I was just basically working with the children in the religious school. But she knew I played piano, and she knew that I, had a degree in music. And so she asked me to be the weekly accompanist for Friday night services. And so I kind of was just starting to soak it all up. I went to, they sent me to Havana Shira, which is a song leading workshop that was started by Debbie Friedman and Jeff Klepper. And so that also exposed me to a whole world of Jewish music. At the time, I was around 21 years old. And so was just getting more and more inspired by the work that's being done by people whose shoulders I'm standing on, and without which I wouldn't have been able to be doing this work. And so I came back from those retreats every year with a resolve and a momentum to want to keep offering more, to keep writing, to keep engaging. And so after I think the second or third year, I was doing more work at the synagogue than I was at Berkeley. I was 6 days a week at the synagogue. I was doing bar mitzvah lessons and working in the day school, the religious school, with the preschool all the way up to 12th grades, and going on retreats and doing high holidays and just everything I can get my hands on, I was doing at the time. And that was my education in like Jewish communal music and Jewish communal life as an adult.
How did that pivot you from there? So that was Boston, right?
That was up in, a suburb of Boston.
Okay, and then from there, how did you end up in New York with, and how did you get attached to, how did you become so acquainted and then working with all of these musicians?
Yeah, in some ways, New York was kind of like a homecoming for me, because I grew up in New Jersey, and my friends and my family, a lot of them are in the New York area. So eventually, I was kind of being magnetically pulled back home in a way, and so. I still have maintained, even today, I was talking with the community, with the community in Wellesley. I maintain my relationship through the years with the community, and I've had some years where I was there once a month, or some years I would do more than that. I still do high holidays with that community up in Boston, and just the relationship has been really beautiful and has evolved along with as I've been growing, and they've been growing. So it's kind of been a beautiful relationship.
That's wonderful. Would you sing something for us?
Oh, absolutely. So I was told that I have opportunity to sing 15 songs tonight, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do 2, if that's okay, because I don't want to take up too much time. But the 2 songs that I thought it would be nice to share, you mentioned that you and I have done some songwriting together. And so I would love to share with whoever's watching in the community the creations that we were able to co-write. When I would come and visit you down in Florida, we would always steal away for a couple minutes and try to write together. And so we have these 2 pieces that are really dear to my heart. And you have always been someone I was influenced by. I would see your songbooks and I'll hear your music growing up and know that was something that was possible, that we could write music for synagogues, and so I'd love to be able to share these songs. So this one is a reading from the left side of the page, the words written by Chaim Stern, and we co-wrote the music together. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet spaces within, to refresh my soul. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet moments of strength, to refresh my soul. Cease my questions, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness. Cease my questions, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet spaces within, to refresh my soul. Oh, help me, O God, to find still moments, to refresh my soul. Oh, cease my question, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness. Cease my questions, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness. And if we were all together right now, we would sing these last few words as a mantra together, over and over and over again like this. Refresh my soul, warmth of your touch, moments of strength, alive in your sight. Refresh my soul, warmth of your touch, moments of strength, alive in your sight. Refresh my soul, warmth of your touch, moments of strength, alive in your sight. Refresh my soul, warmth of your touch, moments of strength, alive in your sight. Cease my questions, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Noah. You know, it's so frustrating because of the using Zoom, of course, we can't sing together because it lags for those of you that are listening. But when we did this, we recorded it in New York. I remember it was really, really cold, very cold day. And I decided I was going to walk. I was up on the Upper West Side, and I decided I was going to walk to the studio. It took me like a little over an hour.
Yeah.
I was very warmed up. Before you go on to your next one.
Of course, yeah.
Tell me how the COVID virus, the entire deal that we're going through, tell me how that's affected you musically.
What's COVID? I haven't heard of it.
COVID-19?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Is that
Corona?
a product of some sort?
Yeah, it's a product of the coronavirus, which is part of Corona beer.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, that sounds amazing. It sounds like it's doing wonderful things.
Yeah, it is.
I think that, in all seriousness, COVID-19 has had a personal effect on me, and then also just watching what's happening with the world. I try. It's interesting, these words right here, cease my questions, my inner debate, and help me meditate on your goodness. I think that for me, it's been really helpful. My daily practices, my rituals of meditation and my rituals of journaling and all the things that I do to center myself have helped me try to find the goodness in the pandemic, to try to find the opportunities for healing, for rest, for renewal that were being granted. And I know that that's obviously not the case for everybody, and I don't want to make a general statement, but it's helpful for me to meditate on the things that are helpful. For instance, for me, so much of my work life is traveling, and this is the longest stretch that I've been home in one city for. I can't even remember the last time, maybe 15 years or something. So I've been able to ground myself more and root myself more in my home life, and so there's been a lot of blessings that have come along with it, and we're all being forced to be more creative and to stay in touch. In many ways, Rochelle, we've always been able to have these video interviews. We could have been doing it for years if we wanted to, but because of the what's happening, we're being forced to think of things from a different angle and to come at it from a different angle. And so now we're creating opportunities and bringing more love and more warmth into our communities through these other mediums. So just as easy as it is to focus on the things that are troubling about, which are obviously many things that we could be sad and angered about, which I am, all of those things, but it helps me to also focus on the goodness and not just meditate on the things that are creating so much frustration in my life.
Yes. No, am I correct? Didn't you get the virus?
I did. So trying to keep a long story short, but I got the virus in the beginning of March. I think, I live in Brooklyn, and I think a lot of people got it and had different varying degrees of intensity in terms of their symptoms. For me, it was not life-threatening in any way, but I was, in bed and had a difficult time, being mobile, and I lost a lot of energy for about 3.5 weeks. And then I got better in April. And then I went to get my not my immunity shot, but the antibody shot. And 2 days after I got the antibody shot, I came down with a fever again. And so I must have exposed myself when I went to the clinic to get the shot. I must have exposed myself to something else, and then I had 14 days of fever that kind of set me back again. And the doctors didn't know whether did I get COVID-19 again? Is it possible to get it again? And what happened? So there was a lot of confusion for a while. But thankfully now where I'm at, that was about 5 weeks ago, and now I'm back to the baseline again. It's taken me about 4 weeks again to get back to strength again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, God was with you. Thank God. So thank you, God. So I know you're going to sing us one more song. I quickly want to bring on Natalie so she can say hi to you in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, so once all of this mess is over and the virus has calmed down, do you have a full plate of traveling happening?
I'm taking it day by day. I think that for many of us in March, we thought that this was just going to be a couple weeks, and then April 1st turned to April 15th, turned to May 15th, turned to June 15th. So I'm trying not to focus too much on what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen the year after. I think that in many ways, what we considered normal before won't exist. I think there will be a new normal for us, and that's not necessarily no judgment on that. It might be beautiful, new normal. It's not bad or good. It's just I doubt that we're going to go back to a time that was exactly the same. In some ways, I feel that we will mark the pre-COVID and post-COVID time period that we had here, and we'll be able to remember what things were like. And again, there's a lot of things that we could long for and be pained that we're losing, and it's obvious that we can sit with that sadness of the things that we're losing. But I prefer to try to focus my attention on the things that could be benefiting from that sort of thing. Yeah.
Like writing a lot of new music too.
New music, exactly right.
All right. So give us one more song.
Well, like I said, I wanted to focus on the two pieces of music that you and I co-wrote together. And so I think this one actually really goes beautifully hand in hand with the other one. I didn't realize that they were connected in this way. But these words, like Chaim Stern was writing, it helped me meditate on your goodness. And we wrote a song that the title of it is called Kol Tov, where we took the Gomel blessing. The blessing that we say when we've survived a life-threatening situation or illness, and we're thanking the creator of healing and the one who can grant us healing. We're thanking that source for saving us, Gamal, yeah, Shigmalanu, that you saved us. But the fascinating part for when we were writing this is that the blessing continues to repeat the phrase Kol Tov, Kol Tov. In English, Tov is translated as good, but good is way too small of a word for what Tov is. When we think about the word Tov was used in the very first story of creation, and God was creating every single day. God was creating everything, and then would look at the creations and say, that was good, that was Tov, that was Tov. And then when God created human beings, it was Tov Me'od, it was very good. So we think of the word as good as a very simplistic word, but Tov is very much associated with creation and life, and any time that we bring something into life, like a new song, for instance, that is Tov, not just good, but it's like imbued with godly spirituality and creativity. And so if we were all together, singing together, the part of the song that we could, as a community, sing would be like this. Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov. And it was such an honor to be able to record this with you when we were in the recording studio together, and we were able to create harmonies together. And so one more time we would sing Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov, Kol Tov. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shigma lanu kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov. And how amazing it is that we say Kol Tov after surviving so much pain and so much anguish and so much trauma, that we can still come out of that and say, that was for the good. Potentially, the COVID-19 was the wake-up call we all needed to let the earth heal itself a little bit, to let ourselves feel some renewal and slow down in order for us to experience what the good is in our lives. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shigma lanu kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov, kol tov. Another chance, another breath, another moment to be blessed, another look, another touch, another moment to be loved. Kol tov, 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 kol tov.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, just hang in there 2 seconds. I want you to say hi to Natalie.
Yes, I would love to see her.
Okay. We're bringing on the Natalie.
It was stunning and
Oh my gosh.
such a joy to hear you singing and to get to see you in this space. And it was
And I'm
really special.
so excited to see you and hear you and be with you in this environment. It's so beautiful.
I would say, just connected to what you were just talking about, the silver linings of this COVID era has brought people together from different parts of the country in collaborative forces to create new things. And, you know, at this point, it doesn't matter physically where you live, you're able to make music and be in community with people from different time zones. And, just last weekend, I did a concert with
It's coming from
someone.
her connection.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. There's just a lot of noise behind it. But anyways, all right. So you sweet people, it's an honor. It's a privilege, Noah, to have both you and Natalie together. Um, I don't know. Maybe if when I mute later, it'll get better. But I want to thank you so much for being with us. Noah, stay safe, stay healthy, write beautiful music, and may the Shekhinah, may God's grace always bless you.
Thank you for having me and for inviting
Thank
me
you.
into this space.
Thank you, Angel. I'll see you soon.
Good to see
Take
you.
care, Noah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Now we need Natalie.
How are you, my friend?
There you are, my friend. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so nice to see you. It was such a
You
treat to
too.
get your text, and I'm just looking forward to being here with you for the next little bit.
Well, one of the pluses about being old, uh, or a lot older, is that I've gotten to love and meet so many great musicians over my life, and um, you are standing right there at the top of my list.
Thank
So
you.
it's beautiful to have you, Natalie. Natalie, you were in Miami, correct?
Yes.
You lived in Miami for a while, and now where are you living?
Now we're in Southern California, back home where it all started.
Wow,
Me
and
and
you
the
have a
family
pulpit?
again. Yeah, I'm working for a duly affiliated congregation in Aliso Viejo. It's Reform and Conservative, Temple Beth El. And my husband's a rabbi in Fountain Valley, and we live right in the middle.
Wow, that's something. And during this strange time, I know you had a lot of time to bond with your family and your children. Have you been able to be creative?
Um, I have, and I am really grateful for those moments where the music remembers how to flow through me. I was working on some music and meditation sessions to share with my community, which was really actually a gift for myself as well, to be able to take the time and work on these written meditations to share. And I ended up writing three new pieces, a couple of nigunim, um, but it had been a long time since I had composed anything because I had just finished recording an album, and so my focus was on that for a while. And now just learning some of the new technology and ways to collaborate with people. That's
Yes.
um,
So you
amazing.
actually wrote your own meditations.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Maybe before we leave, you could share one with us. I would love that.
Hmm.
They're just written.
They're written. They're I take people through. It's really like a 20-minute meditation with music kind of
Ah,
woven in. So,
oh,
um,
beautiful. So it's more like a mindful
yes,
meditation.
yes,
How wonderful. That's yeah, I'm meditating all the time now too. We need it.
we do, we
We need to
do.
feel very centered right now. It's a strange time in this world. So tell me how you got involved in Jewish music.
I guess music's really always been a part of me. I grew up in a house with two parents who were always singing or at the piano, and every
That's good.
car trip
Uh-huh.
was filled with songs in French and Hungarian and Yiddish and Hebrew, and
Mhm.
so pretty spectacular to have the all of those influences. And then I grew up at Kehilat Israel, which is a Reconstructionist synagogue in LA. And my Cantor Chaim Frankel really took me under his wing. And I was just inspired by all of the music of the synagogue and sang in the youth choir and sang in the adult choir as a kid with my mom. And I was just always so inspired by the great music of our people and all of the different genres of music. You know, Noah mentioned Havana Shira. There are all of these wonderful opportunities that we have as people who love Jewish music to go and be exposed to all of the new creations that are happening around the world. And it brings people together from different backgrounds. Not that I want to say denominations are going out the window, but I think lines are really blurred and people are learning and being inspired by one another. And so our opportunity now in this digital age to be able to share music quickly and get feedback from people has really helped explode and expand where Jewish music is going. And I feel so blessed to be on this crazy ride. And, you know, I went to cantorial school after my time at the Brandeis Collegiate Institute, BCI, in Simi Valley. And I was exposed to other kinds of music there. And
Do you know that I went to Brandeis Camp Institute? I never heard of anyone else that went.
ah, it's fantastic.
I was there at the very last of Shlomo Bardin before he
Wow.
passed away. That was
Amazing.
his last summer. I was there with Dennis Prager, and I
Nice.
was there with Joseph Telushkin.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know they were the greats.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, but go
I
ahead.
think
Sorry, I
Johnny
interrupted.
Massing was there when I was there.
Oh, how wonderful. I'm
Yeah,
going to be
just
inviting him.
he's pretty remarkable.
He is remarkable.
And now I'm part of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, and I'm getting exposed to all other kinds of music through my experience there. And
And
of
where is
course,
that?
knowing people like you who have been part of my musical playlist for forever. And, you know, people like you who continue to create and inspire others to write. And of course, the late Debbie Friedman, who, as a young girl, was inspired to find her own voice in our texts and create new music, which opened up the door for so many people
For
to
me,
give their hand,
right.
give a try at composing new music that reflected their Jewish soul.
Natalie, just go back. What was the institute you said that you're involved in with all kinds of music?
The Institute for Jewish Spirituality, we're working on meditation and mindfulness.
Is
There's
that
text studies.
is that in California or?
Sometimes it's, well, we had our first retreat in California, which was at Camp Alanim, where we did BCI. Um, and we were going to have another one, I think it just outside of Baltimore this summer, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that in person. So now
Right.
we're in our own virtual space. But it's an 18-month program, and I am so blessed to be working with Cantor Patty Linsky, who's my Chavruta partner. And
Oh,
so we get to ground each other each week and study a little Torah, and
oh, that's
nice way to
wonderful.
connect. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one in mind. So sing something for us.
All right. So this piece that I want to share is called Holy, Holy, Holy. I was working at Camp Newman and sitting outside and watching campers come in and out of the Char Rochel and people just engaged in conversation sitting on the grass. And we were out in this beautiful, picturesque, we were in the woods. I mean, it's incredible. And this song came about just thinking about all of the ways that we experience holiness in the world. And for some people, it feels very easy for them to connect to God. It's very easy for some people, to feel spiritually connected. And for others, it's a little more challenging. My younger son, Alex, just became bar mitzvah in February, and we had a lot of hard conversations about faith, and I was so appreciative of the fact that he was open enough to share with me how much he wrestled with God and with faith. So just thinking about how we each might find holiness. Holy, 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 Adonai of blessing above. Fill my heart with love, soft and strong, a voice from within, a song of peace in the wind. Holy, 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 holy. May the darkness within disappear with the faith that you're always near, like a mountain born from the sea. The spark of God within me. Holy, 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 holy,
Oh, that's beautiful. As soon as the show's over, I'll be texting you for a copy. It's gorgeous. You wrote the words?
I did. I did.
Just beautiful. You're a beautiful lyricist as well as your sense of melody.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you another couple questions, and then I want you to sing one more because,
All right.
well, I could hear about 12 more, but I won't be a chazer. What was one of the most exciting Jewishly musical opportunities that you think you've had so far in your life? Whether it be a concert, whether it be a worship service.
I think back to my year in Israel, my first year of seminary, really having no idea how I would fit in. I come from a song leading background. I worked at camp, and you know, I did study music at UC Santa Cruz, but it was I was kind of I did like an independent study. I didn't really fit into a box, and I definitely had some nerves going to HUC with people with opera backgrounds and musical theater backgrounds, and then I felt like the black sheep. And I have this amazing memory of sitting on the grass overlooking the old city and teaching rabbinic and cantorial students and ed students how to play guitar.
Wow.
And it ended up being such an asset that I had the background that I had to be able to help people. And, I often joke that you can't throw a piano or an organ on your back and bring it around the campfire. But
That's true.
The guitar is such a unifying instrument that brings people together, and you can make music and you can connect to God and you can pray wherever you are. So those moments of connections with my classmates in Jerusalem, and we were living there during the height of the Second Intifada, so there was a lot of very intense violence happening there, and so we spent a lot of time in each other's apartments. And of course, this was also when 9/11 happened.
Right.
And so to be able to lean on each other, make music in intimate spaces. That's where my Adonai Sfatai was born, sitting on a friend's mirpeset on their balcony. And that song flowed out of me, and it became like a class anthem. So
You know, the
grateful.
one of the most common pieces we do at Temple Beth Am in our Minyan services, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. And then they do Adonai Sfatai Tivla. So those are two they're like my Baruch Hu, they're just regulars.
Well, your Baruch Hu is a regular part of our Friday night, so that's pretty special. Thank you.
Do people like when anybody meets me, they go, "Oh, you're the one that wrote Baruch Hu," and I'm thinking that was like something I wrote over 10 minutes, you know.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So, do you have? Do people recognize you by a specific song?
I think Adonai Sfatai is the big one.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would definitely say that has to be your big one.
it's
amazing.
pretty cool to get
We
to
all
hear
get our
other
we
people
get our
sing it.
yeah we get tagged with our theme song.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter how many more pieces you'll write, that was the one people will remember.
yeah,
You know, listen, if you think about Carole King, you know, what do you think? You've got a friend, you know?
yeah.
You know, I heard whatever. But okay, I'm going to stop talking. I want you to play another song because I love listening to you.
I want to share a Mizmor shir. This was a commission by the American Conference of Cantors a few years back, and looking for new settings of psalms for Kabbalat Shabbat. And this was a major departure from my other. I don't even know what style of music I write in. It's my Natalie Young style. It is what it is.
Thank goodness.
But this was something very, very different. And since then, I've written a couple of more pieces kind of in this vein that have become part of my new Soul Spark album. So
Beautiful.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני מזמור שיר ליום השבת וזמר לשמך עליון
Wow, that's a different style for you. I
Different, yeah.
love that.
Thank you. And I had the incredible Bob Remstein play on my album, who is
Oh,
just a
wow.
phenomenal jazz musician.
Yes, he's wonderful.
Yeah, so to get to bring in musicians to be
Not
able to really
fair.
fill out the sound that I hear in my head for my music was just
Right.
amazing. I was very,
Incredible.
very lucky.
What are
Yeah.
you working on now? What's your next?
Oh my God. I feel like we're all working on High Holy Days.
Yes, that's true. I'm working on I'm trying to figure out how to make it incredibly interesting as well as musical.
Yeah, I think we're really going outside of the box this year, as so many of us has experienced. It doesn't always transfer to do what we did in person to do virtually.
Right.
So I am working on a theatrical piece that's going to be really created by my community. I'm going to be doing a text study on the Akedan, the binding of Isaac.
Oh, wow.
And people are going to create their own narratives, and I am going to create a retelling of the story that integrates spoken word and music, some Torah chanting, and art and dance. So I have very lofty goals, but
Wow.
I've done something very similar for a women's retreat that I did, and it was a very powerful experience for everyone who participated. So I'm looking forward to getting to empower the congregational voice a little bit more this year.
How will you be able to get the dancers, everything all on the screen and pre-recorded?
Everything's going to be, yeah, these elements will be pre recorded. We're going to be working with the amazing Beth Styles to help
Oh,
with this. I'll create the storyboard. I'll probably grab a few people to work on it with me. But to be able to pre record stuff, we can hopefully help avoid some of the technical snafus that
oh, for sure.
are likely to come up in the moment. So here's
Oh, it's
hoping.
wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. And it's especially wonderful just being with you. I don't think you and I have spent this long talking in all the years I've been around you.
It's been a while. Well, I have this beautiful memory, Rochelle, where you and I were going to start to work on a piece. And I know we lived miles and miles apart, but I was in your office and we were looking at a text together. And
That's
I
right.
was starstruck that you had any desire to want to collaborate at all with me.
I
So
still do.
I do too. Well, that would be
Okay.
amazing.
So, all right. So that's our next thing. I'm gonna start looking at this week to see what interesting thing we could write together.
That sounds wonderful.
Although you have written a lot of meditations, we could set one of those to music.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they are.
Well, we'll take a look at some stuff together.
All right. I'll be in touch.
All right,
I
Rochelle,
love you.
Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you so much for
Oh,
having
you too.
me.
Good
And
health to your entire family, to your husband, and to the children.
thank you.
And you
And
just
to
look
your
wonderful.
beautiful
Thank
family.
God.
Bye, my
Mwah.
sweet friend. Love you.
Bye, my sweet friend.
Bye.
Bye.